This is positive reinforcement with Odin the Mustang. We are continuing to work on standing on a mat. So I have a red bath mat out there. And he's been pretty good about accidentally getting one foot on. You'll notice that I kissed him on the nose when he was kind of poking me for a treat rather than waiting for me to give him a treat. But here he had stepped on the mat like he was supposed to, and continues to do a good job of stepping on the mat and staying on the mat. I have a long stick in my hand just to kind of help him direct his feet a little bit. So there he had both feet on the mat, probably quite accidentally, but I'm giving him a lot of reinforcement here. And some pets too. And just asking him to back up. That's another good skill to have. He didn't back up very far, but that's okay. We worked on a lot of backup earlier today. I'm giving him a chance to chew. Still am in the backup position, kind of hoping he will continue to back up. But he's still chewing his treat, and there he goes. He's trying to take a step. And I gave him a treat for just taking a step when I asked him to. And we're resetting, trying to go back to the mat. Losing track of my string there, but I'm trying to get him to also move his hind end over just by kind of waving the stick near his haunches. He's kind of pawing at the mat, just trying to figure out what to do. And this is sometimes referred to as a bit of a dance. And he leaned his hip into me, which I don't necessarily like, so I gave him a little tap on the hip for that. Since he was pawing at the mat, I have to reset it. So I'm trying to ask him to be more precise about being intentional about stepping on the mat. And I'm giving a reward for touching at it, even though that was kind of a paw, but that seemed very intentional to me. And we're doing the dance here again. Just using my stick to help him figure out where to put his feet. Not touching him with it, just waving it. Resetting the mat. And like I said, I'm trying to be a little bit more precise about this, since I know he knows to step on the mat accidentally, so I want him to do it more on purpose. And there he's just trying to move his body around me, just figuring out how exactly he gets the treat. And he never gets a treat for sticking his nose into my space. I'm trying to get him to move laterally a little bit, because he does have a tendency to lean into pressure. I think he's still wondering whether he's supposed to sniff the mat or what exactly he's supposed to do. We didn't do any target training in this session, although I did some earlier. And a lot of times he does get a reward for putting his nose on something unfamiliar, but I'm just trying to reinforce the idea of putting his feet on the mat.
You're funny. Yes, you're funny.
He's definitely getting his feet on the mat because he keeps messing it up, but he's only doing that with one foot. I'm really trying to get him to do it with two. Reset. I'm also trying to work out what signals work for him, so I'm just using my stick to give him an idea of stepping on the mat. And he's just a little too quick about it. I'm trying to reposition him using my stick to ask him to move laterally. I'm just kind of waving my stick at him, see if he'll move sideways. And there he's trying to move back, so try to change the pattern the way I wave the stick. Really all I'm trying to do is get him to reposition his body so that he steps on it, the mat. He's sort of half on it. Nice forehead rub there. I just use regular alfalfa pellets for treats. And here I'm just trying to get him to back up a little bit just by having my hand in front of his chest, and I'm just waiting. But the backing up isn't the emphasis of this session, so I'm not pushing it, this particular method of backing up. And we wait. Seems like he's perfectly content just hanging out. And he's moving a little bit, so there he backs up a little bit. So, and I'm using my stick to get him to back up a little bit more, because this is a new exercise I want to teach him, which is being at ease away from me. And a lot of times the way that you teach this is actually with a halter and lead rope, and you have them back up so that they are a bit of a distance away from you, and there's kind of a belly in your lead rope, and you just get him to be at ease. And obviously he likes to be in my space, so getting him to back up is one thing, but getting him to stay back there is another. So I'm trying to give him another signal about just staying there, and that's lifting my hands up. So one of the things these videos does is it helps me get more clear about my signals. And I did have to get after him a little bit about backing up. And I'm just really trying to get him to stay there. And then I take advantage of him looking in the other direction and backing up. And then I'm going to click and treat before he moves. So that's one way of doing it. And also, having him look away to get a treat is fine. That's one of the most basic lessons that you can use with positive reinforcement clicker training, is having them look away and getting a reward for that. But he really wants to be up with me. Part of that, I'm sure, is because that's where the goodies are in my pocket. And he's trying to avoid backing up by moving sideways a little bit, but I give him some credit for backing up. All this is very incremental. One of the things I'm trying to teach him is that he doesn't have to move forward to get his treat. I will come bring him his treat. So I make him put his feet back where they were. Eventually, I won't have to do as much moving around, but right now, until I'm more consistent about it, I'm doing a lot of moving around. And he gets a rub. And we'll go back to the mat, see if we can go back to where we left off after we tried the at ease exercise. One thing I should mention is that I use Alexander Kurland's book, The Click That Teaches, a step-by-step guide in pictures. It's been very helpful in these training sessions. And he's still pawing at the mat, moving his body around, trying to figure it out. And then as soon as he gets it, we'll end on that. I'll give him a good couple handfuls of alfalfa pellets and call it good. And sometimes it's just a matter of waiting for him to get the right answer. Looks like he's still chewing. And one more readjustment. I'm trying to help him with my stick. Move that shoulder a little bit. There we go. He still just has one foot on, and he's trying and there I dropped my stick because he got both feet on. So now I'm giving him a jackpot, giving him a few handfuls. Basically emptying my pockets. And then this is how we end. I always give him a big jackpot, then I give him a little rub down with my hands and walk around and do both sides. We'll rub on the forehead, and then we're done.